So our friend Eli has a friend with benefits, or what we used to call a fuck buddy. And this is someone who basically is, you don't have any type of intimate relationship per se. In other words, you don't love this person. But you meet up on regular intervals to have sex. And you call that a friend with benefits. So you're friends, cool, we like each other, we don't love each other, but let's extend the benefits beyond just our, our friendship. Let's have sex. So this is cool, fine. Problem is, she got pregnant, right? Bird. So now Eli's in a bind because he doesn't love this woman. Or girl, she's 21, he's 26. She refuses to have an abortion. He's trying to convince her and her mom, you need to get rid of this baby because I don't love you, I won't be there to support you, I have no money, and whatever money or support I have, I'm already supporting my sister in her fucked up situation. I don't have anything left for you. Please just have an abortion, right? Get rid of the baby. They refuse. They're like, nah, fuck you, don't worry about it. We'll take care of it. This is what the girl and the mother said. Hey, look, Eli, fine, dropping seeds and bouncing is cool with us. We'll take care of the baby. We don't need your help. Peace. Eli is pissed. He's panicked now. He don't know what to do. He thinks it's going to ruin his life. And he's got a lot of different ideas about it, a lot of different judgments on what's going on. Funny how we have judgments after we fuck up, right? We become very righteous after we make some fucking mistakes. And that's kind of where you're at right now. So the very first thing I want to do is I'm going to read some of what you wrote here, and I want to squash some of your illusions about what's going on. Get straight to the point. Just look at this thing like it really fucking is, as opposed to, being poetic about it. And then give you some ideas that are going to support you at a level, in a place where you really, it's the only place you have any power right now, right? So anyway, let's move on. I have a friend with benefits. I don't love her. We had sex. She's pregnant. Now, I explained to her, a human life, such as a baby, is a beautiful thing and should take place only if there are two loving parents. And, well, I don't want anything with you, so this is not going to work out. Not only that, but neither of us have jobs or careers. You're only 21 years old. I'm busy helping my sister. Please tell your mom to help you have an abortion. Get rid of the baby. It's only been a few weeks. This shouldn't happen. This is a disaster without a well-structured family to raise the baby. Why would you want this? Okay, cool. So you should have been thinking about well-structured families and two loving parents when you were fucking, right? I mean, it's kind of inherent in having sex, is that there's a potential for the byproduct of sex, which are children. And look, I don't know what the birth control situation was, but whatever happened, happened. Cool, this is what we were dealing with. What I want you to avoid is talk like this, right? Because all of a sudden, like, you're a fundamental Christian. Oh, families need two parents. Oh, there should be a family structure. You know what, fuck that. Because first of all, that's just an idea. Because if you look throughout the history of mankind, the way the family structure is as we recognize it today is very different. It hasn't always been this way. It's just a fucking idea that we've come up with and we've accepted. Years ago there were tribes where, two young people would have sex and the elders would take care of the children, right? I'm not saying what should be, I'm saying what is. And don't start becoming very poetic or righteous about what should be, right? Because what should be is what is, right? It's neither good nor bad. We can't even judge your actions, right? Because you're following your instinct. You wanted to fucking have sex, she wanted to have sex, you had sex and a baby came. Not good or bad, not right or wrong, but let's deal with it on the level that in the place that we're living, in the time that we're living, in the financial circumstances that you guys are presenting, in the world as it is, right? Let's be realistic here and not place, moral judgments, okay? So, with that out of the way, one of the things that might be helpful to you, just an idea that might be helpful to you, right, is that when we have children, although they come through us, they don't necessarily belong to us. And the reason why I say that is because you can start panicking about this child not having a good life because you think that you have to have a 100% hand in the steering and projection of this child's life. But we play this game called life with only one hand on the steering wheel. And the other hand is steered, guided by, manipulated by that which we have called God, the universe, the Tao, Allah, nature. There's another part of this whole fucking thing that we don't have control over. So we could place all of our projections on what's going to happen with our one fucking hand, but not realizing that like this other hand has its own plans and it's going to help steer this child's life. So we cannot say this child's life is going to be a disaster. You might think your life is a disaster if you don't approach it the way I'm going to tell you to in a few moments, because it's all based on perspective. But you can't judge what's going to happen to this child. Some of the greatest people walking the earth today come from a home where there were no parents, foster children, one parent. You can't judge what this child's going to be like simply because you don't have both hands on the fucking steering wheel, because we never do. Okay? That might appease your anxiety just a bit. It might relax you just a bit, because for lack of better terms, or you know what, this is my term. I like saying God. Sometimes it pisses you guys off, but I hope you understand what I say, what I mean when I'm saying this. A lot of this, you gotta really just say it's in God's hands. It's in God's hands, right? You did this, she's making her choice. You cannot force her. You cannot manipulate her decision because it's her body. She wants to have the baby, let her have the baby. Now you have exhausted two out of your 3 levels of consciousness and behavior on earth. I've talked about this multiple times, and it's described in many different traditions in many different ways. I call it your head brain, your heart brain, and your balls brain, right? You already went balls deep, right? Without a condom. You already followed your balls. You already followed your instinct. Fine, cool. She's pregnant. That's done. Cross that one off. You cannot approach this from the mind, because the brain, when I say mind, I mean head brain, head part of the mind. Because all your rationalizing in the world, first of all, is not going to change their decision. And it would be wrong of you to try and manipulate them with logic, right? It's sort of violent to do this to people, right? Because for some reason, something in her body, hormones, instinct, love perhaps, is telling her she wants to have this baby, okay? Now maybe for other reasons, and I can only make assumptions based on, you know, the information you guys give me. Maybe she just wants fucking child support. She's licking her chops, but the mom and her said that they don't want anything from you. So I'm gonna go based on that information. So your mind, your brain, you can't fix this with your brain, right? There's nothing you can do. You can't manipulate the world in any particular way by using your calculative skills. You have one thing left, your heart. And I promise you that if you approach this situation, she has a baby, always proceeding from your heart, you're going to do a number of things. First, I'm going to start with the most practical, tangible, and then I'm going to go off into outer space. And some of you guys will follow me all the way outer space. Some of you guys will just hang out where I'm at with the practical, right? Practical. Here's what you're going to do, and here's why. You're going to begin writing. You say you like poetry. Good. Get a notebook. Get a box full of fucking notebooks. And starting today, begin writing to that child. Your regrets won't come from the fact that you had sex with a girl and got her pregnant. There will be no regret about that when you get old. Your regrets won't be about how you couldn't manipulate her to have an abortion. When you're old and this child is an adult, you won't feel regret about that. What you will feel regret about is not loving this child the way a part of you wants to. You see, whether you know it or not, your heart wants to yield and melt to this child. Your head is saying, no way, fuck you. This makes no sense whatsoever. No. And you're using your head to basically say, heart, fuck you. You should have done that to your dick earlier, but hey. But now you're trying to squash your heart. You look, dude, when the dick moves in a particular direction, the heart's coming along with it, and the head's, you basically drag the rest of you with it. So don't start trying to beat your body down now. You should have thought about that earlier. This is not a judgment. I'm just saying, hey, take a look at what's happened, and let's be honest about it. By you writing, even though this child may or may not ever get an opportunity to read this while they're young, you're pouring out your heart's feelings. You're pouring out that which is coming up in your heart, and it's going to be very emotional. You need to pour out all your emotions in a notebook. And it doesn't all have to sound poetic and beautiful. It's not all fucking roses and puppies. A lot of it might be, I really messed up. I didn't want you to be here. I wanted to have sex with your mom because she's so hot, but I never thought she was gonna get pregnant. Oh my God, I feel so bad. I feel so guilty. What am I going to do? Blah, blah, all that, get that, because that's gonna be the first shit that comes up. Just fucking be honest and pour that shit out into the fucking notebooks. It's going to be easy at first because you're swelling up with a lot of emotion, and you can pour your heart out in it while you're spilling over, essentially. But every week, for the rest of this child's life, this is your responsibility. Obviously, you can't pay for this child. Obviously, you can't be there all the time. Maybe you can, maybe you can't. I don't know, physically, right? But your responsibility, if you could just fucking do this, I promise you, you will be so grateful for this idea when you grow old. Every week, no matter what, no matter how busy your life is, no matter how life has progressed and what has happened, even if you end up with this woman later on and this child lives with you, write to the child in your journal. I haven't seen you in 7 months. I bet right now you're probably walking and talking and crawling and spitting up all over the place. It's probably disgusting, but a part of me wishes that I could be there to see you. If you have an opportunity to see the child every once in a while, see the child, do not grow attached, because I don't know what type of agreement you have with the woman, but go home and write. Today I saw you and you were wearing a blue jumper and a baseball cap, and it was the first time that you ever climbed on the monkey bars, and I was so happy to catch you at the end of the slide, right? Maybe you see the kid for 20 minutes, and that's all you get. Write that shit down. So what you're doing is, it's a form of catharsis. There are a couple practical things that are happening when you do this. It's a form of catharsis. You're getting it out, because guilt will be, this is when guilt is going to really happen. When these feelings come up and you place moral judgment on them because of the choice you made. So your heart's going to want to spill out towards this child. You're going to want to afford feelings or move feelings towards the child, even though you can't physically. But you're gonna place judgment on it, saying, I shouldn't feel this way because, I fucked up, I made a mistake, bomb, 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 bomb. You're gonna bite your lip, you're gonna suck it down. Bad move, because you're gonna die with guilt. You're gonna lay on your deathbed. I talk about this deathbed thing a lot because we're all gonna fucking die at some point. Could be next week when you get cancer, because who knows? Or it could be when you're an old fucking man. But at some point, it's gonna come back up. It's gonna haunt you. And guess what? That's hell, right? You want to go to hell? That's hell. Right? Some people might say that you carry that with you into the next life. I don't know what happens, but I'd like to get rid of this shit. Get it out. So it's helpful to you. Also, there is a chance that at some point this child will come looking for you. There's a chance that you might go looking for this child after it's grown up. And after the uncomfortable discussion, after the discomfort associated with you're my fucking dad and you left me, and like you just feeling like such a weak and feeble person because this has been your mistake, there will be a softening if you pursue, and an opportunity for you to say, I haven't seen you in 17 years, but for the past 17 years I've written to you, and I want to share it with you. Now, what you do with this is completely up to you. I know you're probably really upset with me, but everything that I've experienced over the past 17 years, because I have not forgotten about you, are in these books. And you walk away. Trust me, he or she will want to read those books. She'll be very upset at first, but she's going to want to read those books because there is a heart connection between the two of you. There's a body connection. There's a mind connection. That's your DNA over there. And she's going to be curious about what's happening in you, what's happened in you. Why is she the way she is? And those words are going to be very helpful to her or him. It'll be the greatest gift that you could offer that child. Even if you pay child support, it's just fucking money. Those books, those journals will mean far more to that child than anything else, anything that you were able to provide. Do you understand? And a third thing that's going to happen, and this is, I'm being metaphysical now, so some of you who get upset when I move in this direction, maybe turn off the video. But by pouring out your heart to God in a way, to the universe, by spreading it, by letting it out, there are unseen forces that come to your aid that will support you in bringing all of the positive projections in your writing towards that child. All of your love that goes out towards a child through your writing is very similar to praying for the child. And first of all, for thousands of generations, human beings have prayed. It's not a religious thing so much as it's a human act that we find benefit in, either personally or extrinsically. Right? There have been studies, scientific studies, where Buddhist monks go and they pray in like Detroit, where there's like, murders every day, and like they go and pray for 24 hours straight, and the murder, there isn't a single murder. There's a lot of power to it. I don't understand it, no one fucking understands it, right? But there's a lot of shit that we think we understand, but really don't understand. And one of them is there's a power to prayer. By you writing in this particular way, it is a form of prayer that's going to go out to the universe, that is going to send love vibes, if you will, to your child, that will be felt and that will be supportive to him or her as they journey through life. Let go of your ideas about what should be, what it should look like, what's right and wrong. Be with the reality of the situation and be with it fully, meaning give your heart room to experience this child. You might not love the woman, but you're going to love this child, whether you know it or not. I'm done.